Okay, this is a interesting development, and this is right now. It's 11:53 p.m. 3/9/2026. We're looking at an oil 24-hour chart. Okay, you're listening to Van X on X. Okay, I sell a trading system. The trading system costs $500 through Cash App. No refunds. It's just going to be indicators and a manual trading system for MetaTrader. You get the full rules for the 500 bucks. No refunds. Send me money Cash App. Once you send me the money, your money is gone. But you will have a trading system which will probably change your trading life. If you're especially new to trading, and even if you fail, I will probably save you a lot of money if you listen. Some people are just not meant for it, but it will definitely advance you. So look at this. Look at this. Do you see what I'm seeing on the chart? What do you think I'm seeing right now? We have a huge tall tail candle from yesterday. We have this huge wick. That's called a wick. The wick goes up all the way up to here, which I drew a line approximately 116.40 for the crude oil. Let's change this over to a weekly chart. Take a look at that. That that just looks ugly. On a weekly chart, it just looks ugly. That really freaking looks ugly. But look what I found right here. Right here, that tall probe. Can you see it? That's the key level. All right, that's resistance, 94.25. Okay, why is that area significant? Just because the trading market probed above that amount. And let's turn off the auto scroll and the shift. Okay, let's go over here and see what happened before. Okay, so our tail probe went up to here at 11640. Let's look back over here. Yeah, that was a resistance area back here. Okay, roughly. And the market has seen that level before. Now, we're looking at, okay, a little bit of a top right there. Okay, a probe right there. Okay, that's a key area right there. I'm going to not be exact. I think that's a really good resistance area at 120. Now, that was back in 2022, and then you can see it goes back January 2022. All right, so it's not new to this area. So we have a top there at 128.60. And why is that important to mark out in the chart? Well, because the market has memory and they're going to try to get it up to that point. They're going to try to get it up to that point before it pops. All right? That they will do it is another question. But this was a huge pattern and it still has significance, okay? You go back here and you draw this and look at that. That's like a musical note, by the way. If you think of trading like a musical notes, that is one way to understand the patterns because patterns are music, just like DNA and all that other stuff. There's mathematical patterns in the universe that repeat themselves over and over and over. It's also part of human psychology and all that stuff. Okay, so let's just try to make sense of this note. Okay, let's see if we can make sense of the note. We won't be able to. We won't be able to until after the song is complete, right? It's always best to look at the song in past tense and then you know all the lyrics. Then you know all the lyrics, then you know what the pattern is saying. Okay, so but why did I do that? I'm showing you how strong this pattern built up. Okay, how long it took for this to go from down here, okay, to up there and peak out right there as parts of that musical note. Okay. And then we'll just make it look like that's your note. Okay, see, maybe you have a note, some octaves and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really know much about music, but I know about patterns, and I know that those levels are all significant. And fast forward in time, we see that this market downtrended and struggled at this area right there. All right, and bring the chart forward. Bring the chart forward. Here we are. Here we are. So that's how that looks now with the new lines drawn. And you could see that, yeah, weekly chart. Weekly chart here. Now you have a musical note here. You see it? Musical note here. Somewhere around here, I guess. Should it be like that? That looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Hey, it looks cool. It looks cool. I think the universe likes to be musical, so I think the universe likes symmetry. Okay, so the universe likes to make sense, and it likes symmetry because symmetry is a pattern, right? So we have a mathematical pattern. It seems intelligent, at least. It looks cool, right? So this is definitely a thoughtful pattern. So it's definitely a thoughtful pattern, right? There's definitely something going on here with this pattern per se here, right? Is that it? Is that the pattern? Is that the pattern? So the universe is leaving its footprint here. And then we have that previous pattern over here, right? So we have the up wave back here and then the down wave here. And the down wave clearly formed a bottom in here. That is this clearly a bottom, right? And it's clearly a bottom. And then it gets a foot in the door to go higher. Okay? It's all weekly chart. Weekly chart, and then it just blasts through all these levels of resistance, and it didn't want to go below the 50s, right? There's like no way the market is having it. The prices, this is a very tight consolidation here, and boom, spring up, right? From this big down note. It's had enough of being shoved down. Okay, it coiled, and then boom. And then coupled with these people in the Middle East, they know the patterns too. Okay, they're not stupid. They know about math. They may be primitive in technology and other ways. But look, they know math. They know money. And they know that with this going on and this little thing going on here, that they could mess around with the Straits of Hormuz and make the market really go up and cause a lot of panic and escalation, and then they can make lots of money, right? Well, it seems that way. It seems that way to me. So that's a weekly chart. Now, if we bring it back to the daily chart, now that's what we have with our new trick, right? You see how this really seems to be symmetrical and makes sense. Right? So a key area back in here, that is this hardcore support. And then you have my indicator showing support levels being drawn, daily time frame. And now, after this huge probe up, you would think that the pattern would be done, right? Now I'm not so sure. It's hard to say. It is hard to say because the way this opened up, like I was saying earlier, do you see this right here? Okay, the bodies of these daily candles opened up right next to each other. Okay, maybe it's just because this one went so far up and it crashed. But now it's seeing the light to go higher. So we have 94.25 is a key resistance area. Another key resistance area at 104.38. And that top at 116.40. Now remember, we look back, way back in our weekly chart, See if we could make it a monthly chart now. And wow, there's the musical notes. There's the musical notes in the monthly time frame. You see, the market is going to want to get back to that 128.66. These oil guys, they want lots of money. And they saw that it could get close. And now they need to build back up and keep pushing it higher until it gets there. That's probably their plan. And the market has even been higher than that in previous times, so it's not impossible for it to go up to that level. It's not impossible for it to even go higher, because it's gone higher before. Look at that. It's gone up to 147, almost $1.50. All right, back here, and what is the date down there? 2008-ish, right? 2008-ish. What happened back then? Financial crisis, remember that? Subprime. And look, similar pattern. It built up. Now, I ran out of data from the broker, so I can't give you more information on that. But you see how it just had a tight pattern climbing up? These candles don't look so tall, okay? When the chart expands, when there's more data added, right? They look, but when you look at them in near time, you see that big drop and stuff like that, like back in here, right? That is actually a pretty damn huge move right there for one day. All right, actually that's a 1 month, right? It happened back in here, big drop off right back in here. All right, circa the 2008 crisis, subprime crisis. But then the market didn't want it to go lower and formed a base down in here. Okay, key level back in there for support. There's no way oil is going to go for free. Of course, it had to find support. And it has gone lower. Look at this. How low can oil go? Man, this thing went so low down in here. It almost was for free, right? When was that? Back in like 2019, 2020, right? Right. So here we are. The economy stood still back then because of that. What was it? The virus. That's why I'm kicked off of the internet. For talking about the virus. Let's not talk about the virus, because I will get demonetized and attacked. So, all right. Where are we? 1 month pattern. Wow. Wow. What a crazy market. I see all kinds of patterns in here. I see all kinds of little patterns in here. Some people don't see them, but it's just kind of like common things. You see patterns. They happen. They happen in the market. They happen in this market. They do, in fact, happen. Right? It's music. Sometimes the music is like heavy metal. Sometimes it's like classical music. All right? Sometimes it's like hip-hop, bumpy. Right? Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. The market can't hold the tune. It can't hold the tune sometimes. But there are definitely patterns. There are definitely patterns going on. Sometimes they're just harder to read. Harder to read, but they are there. They are there, and the market likes its symmetry. The market likes its symmetry. It definitely does. So what we are seeing is the market did not want to go lower, did not want to go below 50, because below 50 would mean big bear market for crude oil. All right, big bear market for crude oil and much lower inflation, right? Market didn't like that. The Middle Eastern oil people and people in the United States also that want the oil higher, they're like, we don't mind those people in the Middle East making lots of money, because we got to make money too, and that's how we make money, through our oil monopoly. All right, so Key resistance was broke through on the monthly time frame. You can see it. You can see it on the chart. Can you see it? Right there. I have an indicator that tracks it. It's right around in there. All right. Key resistance broken. $78. 78 bucks. At about 78. So this thing is holding a new level of support. And if you follow that line back, it comes back over to here to a prior area. So let's make this at that prior area. That's going to be the key. That's going to be the key level. I think right now they're going to try to stick it to us. They're going to try to stick it to us through the midterms. All right? That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to make inflation high through the midterms. That's the dealio. They're going to make it high, and then probably within the last 2 years of the Trump administration, then it's going to be coming down. That's my prediction from looking at this chart and studying politics and stuff like that. And I think they're going to try. For this area again. I think they're going to try to make a stab at that area. And if it does go up there, there's a chance it could go higher to that almost 150 area. That would look really scary for the economy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So 74, 75-ish, all right? If the market could push it below 75, all right, make a stab at 50, all right? And then we go back here and test those mega lows. Oh, man, inflation would be so low that the economy might start screaming from it if other stuff isn't happening because, there's no more virus. So we'll see. It looks wild, doesn't it? Just looking at this chart. But you could see that the resistance area from my indicator has been busted. Then the resistance is busted, all right? Support in here, support back here, all right? This resistance zone right in here, busted, all right? We have a busted resistance area, which is now, that's our support right in here, okay? So I'll keep you updated. We have support here, support there, all right? Now let's go back to weekly, what it looks like now. Okay, see our musical note? It has busted through this area where it peaked last time and made this musical note here. Looking at the weekly chart again. All right, so that resistance here is currently holding. I'm going to turn it red. I'm going to turn that red and make it bigger. There's our key area. Right now, currently resistance. So we have to stay below 90, basically 94. Maybe it could peak higher and break down. But I think as long as it stays below there, right, it could go lower and then test this support down in here. Let's go ahead and make this. Okay, I already made that big. I'm going to change the color to a lime green. All right, good enough. Not perfect, but good enough. So that's your support, that's your resistance. Now, switching it over to daily, okay? So that's what I'm talking about. Right in here is a very supportive open because you have a probe down, and then it opened and probed down, and now it's bullish. So that means it tested lower. Look at that. You see the lower probes? If you follow the probes are going up. Probe, 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 probe. The tails of the bottom of the wicks. The bottom wicks and the top wicks. That's what I'm looking at. Okay? So you have a bottom wick. All the bottom wicks in this pattern, they're all going higher. Uptrend. Daily 24-hour chart. Now we're looking at 24-hour chart. It's a daily uptrend that broke above, okay, key areas. So right now, oil is still in bull mode. It is not in bear mode because It broke down in a sharp drop. Okay, now you have a little tight pattern right here. Now, will it go above that little probe there? Will it go above there? It looks like it wants to. Looks like it wants to. We're going to go ahead and make this a dashed area. Dashed area. Should we make it yellow as the neutral zone? Do not go into the neutral zone. I am warning you, right? Star Trek. Star Trek. Do not go into the neutral zone. Your ship will become unstable. Right there, the neutral zone. All right. I'm joking. All right. So we have the neutral zone there. We have the little probe right there from this daily candle. All right. This daily candle, we're going to turn it green because it is support right now. But anything can change. All right. So we have neutral, the neutral zone, the two neutral zones set up. So what's going to happen is, still not getting the color I like. I'm really funny about colors. All right, 82.96 that says over here. So you have 82.96 and 90.51 crude oil. All right, and it's trading at 88.94. So if it gets below 82.96, okay, then this pattern could be broken. Okay, this pattern could be broken if it goes below that. All right, it probed down there. Okay, open there and it probed down there. If it gets below this suddenly, then it's a bad sign for the crude oil. But it is a very volatile commodity, so it's still might not mean anything in the grander scale of things because of the music note. This is a longer music note. All right, huge drop off, right? Huge drop off, but bullish open. This is a little bit after midnight Eastern time. Bullish open 310 is 12:15 a.m. 3/10/2026. Bullish open back in here. It probed lower, okay, but then it went up and made a bull candle out of the 24-hour candle, and it has its eyes on the neutral zone, that dashed area right there. It has its eyes on that, and you have the resistance right there at 94.25. It looks like it wants to go above that. We shall see. Okay, so, all right, that's the deal. If you want to help support me and learn about my system, it's $500 Cash App, no refunds. Information in the section of the video on YouTube, all right, where I'm uploading it. You can send me the money Cash App, no refunds. You get it through email. Instructions will be in the email. The trading rules are in the email. It is a MetaTrader system.